When we purchased the building, there was only 9,000 square feet. The first floor was could be occupied, and meet current codes of the city. So when the Kilburn Group purchased it, we started the process by looking at should it be office or apartments in downtown Fargo. Both add vibrancy to the city. We believe strongly in mixed uses. So we were very interested right away in a food and beverage concept at the lower level, retail on the first floor, and then a separate use on the second, third, and fourth floors.
This building is a 4-story, 100-year-old building, and that's kind of one of our niches, is taking a building that's been underutilized for decades and converting them into a more vibrant use. With our role in downtown Fargo, we're trying to create the best downtown that we can. And the way to create the vibrancy is to keep the city busy and open 24 hours a day. And to do that, mixed use is really what creates a vibrant downtown.
Coordinating the layout with architecture team and design team and what the use would be for the building. We considered a number of different processes around design build or design bid build for the mechanical process. So then we started looking at a number of different systems with Gibb & Sons.
Well, the Loretta Building was essentially a building that was falling apart. There was a pool hall on the main floor, a couple of apartments on third, and nothing else. It was just literally crumbling.
We looked at the possibility of using traditional systems, rooftop air handling units, mechanical room air handling units, and none of those seemed to be a proper fit.
There was really no way you're going to get any duct work or any of that stuff in here. It was just an absolute perfect project for the MItsubishi City multi-system.
It was a design build, so there was a lot of learning curve involved for us, as well as the people installing the equipment and the engineering staff.
Yeah, with this type of building and how the design build was going, the VRF system provided great flexibility because not only was the project being done in phases, but we knew and the owner knew that as time went on, the building would change ownership. I mean, leases come and go, and so it gave great flexibility for not only the spaces that we were designing now, but future spaces.
It was surprising how many changes we went through and how we were able to fit our air handling systems into this building, into spaces where you don't even know they're there.
These spaces in these old buildings are very tight. Floor-to-floor spaces are tight, and the architects want to use as much of that space as possible to create large volumes. So ceiling designs were unique. We ended up having to hide lots of units in soffitted areas. Traditional HVAC units, we'd have to have either mechanical closets everywhere or large distribution ductwork to get from one space to the next, whereas here we're running small refrigeration piping to get all the way through the building, and then there we can do our distribution on the air side after that.
Well, the biggest benefit we found was flexibility, especially with an old building like Loretta. We wanted to be sensitive to the structure that was there. We didn't want to make Swiss cheese of the structure by putting duct chases through it, putting ducts through walls. You got brick, you got old concrete. For us, obviously, aesthetics is very important, both for not only having to put large rooftop units on a historic building where we're concerned about views from the street level or across the street where you can see rooftop units, but also in each individual tenant space. We didn't want to detract from the beautiful brick and the open web joists that have been there for 100 years. And so we found a lot of advantage to running refrigerant lines versus running ductwork to all the spaces and creating chases. It's always a battle during the project, maximize leasable space. Well, we were able to minimize the mechanical space needed for the project while still allowing for more leasable space for the owner. The other advantage is keeping our people happy that are fixing the units, keeping them inside out of the cold weather here in Fargo, North Dakota in the middle of winter, to access the system, to fix the system, and really work on the units outside of the bitter cold, snowy conditions that we often encounter here.
Oh yeah, it's very nice because it's a controlled climate inside the penthouse. Whether it's sunny, rainy, or winter, it's 40 degrees in the penthouse. It's very nice inside there.
It's very warm and humid in the summer too. We need to design for both those extremes. The winter's probably the hardest, so we need equipment that can perform at those levels and keep it comfortable, especially in an older building that can be, tend to be drafty and such. So
The third floor of the building was just brick walls, no insulation, And we were concerned that we were going to get a lot of heat loss through the brick. And we went through one of the coldest winters we've had last year with no complaints on that floor for heating whatsoever.
I've been involved in facility management for a long time, and hot and cold complaints are one of the biggest challenges. And honestly, in this building, I can only think of a handful of times, and those are mostly around when we change use of a space. I mean, we use an office as a conference room, so you know that you could have issues by doing that. So the comfort level has been really great. And what's so interesting about the sound, you almost normally rely on a mechanical system to make a certain amount of noise, to kind of create a background noise to drown out normal day-to-day office. In this case, the system is so quiet, we added sound masking to our office space. It is just so quiet. And I tell people when we go through the building, we tour people through here all the time, I said, the sound that you hear isn't actually a mechanical system, but that's the white noise that we added. It's just been really, really smooth so far.
Comfort is our number one concern, obviously, and being now almost 4 years from the start of the project, I think we've had maybe 6 service calls down here in the whole time.
Since we've opened, we've had very high satisfaction with the system, and I would say that that's not been the case on other buildings and other types of systems that we've been using that are in need of this flexibility and exposed brick walls with private offices versus open office areas. I don't know of any complaints around temperature variations, especially in the open office areas. I mean, that's been the part that we've been very satisfied with, and we've been really happy with that. The tenants are always evolving, they're always changing, they're growing, expanding. Mixed uses in the basement, we're going to have different needs for the food and beverage concept, for the retail, and for the office tenants. So this system here certainly met all the qualifications and is going to meet the expectations of what we wanted for everybody working in the building. We will absolutely be looking at Mitsubishi products for future products in downtown Fargo. Looking at, again, having that flexibility and controls and an ability to adjust spaces as they grow with the building.